G'day guys, this is the 19'6" Pro RV Cougar. 19'6" is a really good popular size at the moment. Really easy to tow, fairly lightweight, and a 19'6" you've still got quite a lot of room in here. So the idea of a 19'6" is it's big enough for a long-term travel, so if you want to do a 6, 7, 12-month travel, no problems. If you want to do the shorter trips as well, it's not so big and cumbersome that some people find a 22, 23 footer to be. So 19'6" is probably about the most popular size at the moment, or one of the more popular sizes. So you can see you've got good banks of cupboards in the overheads, and you've got a decent sized kitchen. It's not massive, but it's plenty big enough. You've got quite a lot of bench space because you've got the recessed stove here as well. The stove is Swift, so Australian made. So these guys do use a fair few Australian made products as well. You'll notice they put ample lighting too. So you've got lighting all the way underneath, so it can get quite dull under the cupboards otherwise. So these guys are forward of that, which is pretty good. TV brackets in a decent place. Aircon's fairly central as well, and you've got hatches over the bed and over the main area too. So there's lots of natural light, plus you've got some really good LED lighting in here as well. Got a cafe dinette, which is a very common seating these days. So there's two main styles of seating in caravans. You've got the cafe dinette with the two seats opposite, or you have the L-shaped lounge. Cafe dinette is probably my preference for a couple of reasons. One, if you're in the van for a little while, although you do sit outside mostly, you do want to sit inside sometimes as well. It's just too hot outside, it's just too cold, there's too many bugs, there's too much something. So you do occasionally sit inside too. TV swings around here, you've got a nice comfortable area to sit up. Even just sitting using the paper, or reading the paper, sorry. You've got the little pull-out table as well. Pulls up and out, easy. The idea of this as well is it's easy to get in and out. When you've got the L-shaped lounge, you do sometimes have to sort of shuffle around the table. With this one, it's literally just walk in. And if you're going to use the table for dining, it's easy as that. The table's super handy too if you are cooking something a little bigger and you do want the extra prep room too. It is pretty handy prep room. The other thing that I find about the cafe dinette versus the L-shaped lounge is it really opens up the van a lot as well. So you've got to think, if you've got a conventional L-shaped lounge in here, the table comes to here, so when you sort of try and get past each other, you sort of have to shuffle a bit. And this one, you've got a lot of walking around room. So there is a bonus to having the cafe dinette. I do find it's actually a very practical layout. This one comes with quite a good bank of drawers as well. Decent sized drawers. Got quite a good bank of them too. Sinks, pretty stock standard size, stainless steel, but you do have water filter as standard too. But your overheads are all nicely sized as well, all nicely finished and trimmed too. So, fridge, you've got a 3-way Dometic fridge here as well. I know a lot of people argue this one. Most people are really into the compressor fridges at the moment. I still personally order a 3-way fridge with most of my vans. Reason being is the compressor fridges do actually draw quite a lot of power, and you do need to take quite a substantial portion of your solar just to power the fridge. The 3-way fridge, they still get plenty cold. I've still not had a fridge yet that's let me down for temperature wise. And they're just really efficient on the gas. You can get weeks and weeks and weeks out of a gas bottle. So microwave, decent height as well. So in a 19'6", you don't get a huge bathroom, but it's still quite a decent size. So again, not massive, but you've got a decent bit of bench space in there. You've got a washing machine you've got access to as well, top loader. It's got the swivel round toilet bowl so you can turn around and talk to your mates or reach the fridge. Decent sized shower as well. The shower's not going to be much smaller than a van that's a little bit bigger as well. So shower size is pretty good. All one-piece fiberglass too. Again, in the Pros as well, they use fairly decent components. Everything feels like fairly solid and works pretty well. So there's a few optional extras on this van as well. So it's got a 3-inch lift kit. It's got a 210 watt solar panel instead of the standard 170. Slightly bigger washing machine at 3.2 kilo. USB points for out. You'll notice in the bedroom areas as well, you've got little nooks next to your bed. So you've got charging point light. Super handy just to sort of place your cup of tea or beer in there while charging your phone and having a nap. It's got the super lightweight furniture as well. Bigger toolbox at the front, reversing camera, upgraded fridge. As I say, it's got quite a little bit of extras in there as well. So again, being a 19'6" van, the weight is actually fairly good on this one as well. This van here only weighs 2,120 kilos. It's fairly light. So you've got to think, if you've got a car that can tow 3 tonne, you can load this thing up a fair amount. So with the ATM on this one, it's 2,900 kilos. So that's 720 kilos of payload. So that's basically everything in the van. So the 2120 is the van dry, so nothing in it, no water, no gas in the gas bottles, it's completely empty. Just to think about the breakdown for 720 kilos of payload, so you've got to remember that's got to include the gas. So you've got about 18 kilos there, got to include your water. So if you're fully loading with water, you don't have to load your water every time you go. It's only when you're going somewhere that doesn't have water. So for instance, if you're going to a caravan park, you don't load it up with water. That's another 200 kilos. So 220 kilos gone there. You've got 2 30-kilo suitcases would take you around the world, so 60 kilos there. Best part of 300 kilos is already spent, but you've still got 420 kilos of weight. So 420 kilos translates to a lot of food, a lot of beer, a lot of stuff that you can take with us. So whether it's going to be your fishing stuff, whether it's going to be some spare tools,
stuff that you normally keep in the car that you want to keep in the van so the car's uncluttered. It's still a fair payload. So 720 kilos is quite big. Industry standard, believe it or not, is only 400, so we're approaching double the industry standard. So quite a hefty payload.
So on this particular one as well, you can see you've got a 6-inch A-frame all the way through, and it's quite extended as well. It's a long A-frame. So the bonus of having a long A-frame is it does increase your turning circle. So if you can picture this as the back of your car, if you back up into a tighter spot, you can back up a lot tighter without jackknifing. Super handy if you go to some of these caravan parks where it is quite packed and it is quite busy. It just makes life that little bit easier getting in and out. Decent sized toolbox as well. 2 9-kilo gas bottles. 2 9-kilo gas bottles last you for quite a while. Most people average use of a caravan replace these like once a year. Other side of your tunnel boot, external 240 volt inlet as well. Circuit breaker's all nice and outside and easily locatable. Tunnel boot's also lined with checker plate too, so a lot of the guys just put vinyl on there. I feel they've got a nice rubber seal in these too. Australian made hot water system, Swift. This is a gas storage, 240 volt and gas. This is typically my weapon of choice as far as hot water systems go. Reason being is when you're in Western Australia and you've got a lot of hard water, these actually have a sacrificial anode which will actually help you protect the water tank. Most of the instantaneous style hot water systems don't have that protection, so this one is probably the best protected hot water system, so it's going to last the longest out of all of them. So you've got an external storage here as well, so this goes into the bottom of the bathroom cabinet. Instead of having a really hard to use cupboard which is next to the toilet, which would be hard to actually get in or out of, what these guys have done is they've fully lined it in checker plate, sealed it to the inside and just made it external storage. Super handy on the outside to have external. You can't really have enough external storage as an van. It's always crap that we want to fill it up with. So you'll notice this one doesn't have a spare on the back with option for the underslung spare. What it means is you can actually reduce the total length of the caravan. So if you've got a tighter area for storage, it's not a bad little option. So this one's been optioned with double annex lights as well. Caravans can often be quite dim when sitting outside. You'll need more external lighting. This one's already got the double lights, so well done. It's already been set up with AGM battery as well, so 120 amp AGM battery and 210 watt solar panel. So it has been designed for a bit of free camping, a bit of gravel road use. You could do most tracks, you could do Ningaloo, you could do quite a few tracks in it quite comfortably, driving to the conditions of course. Basically the van has been well set up for free camping as well as caravan parks. Being the size it is as well, it's quite easy to get into some of these tighter free camping spots. And yeah, you basically got everything you need to do a good trip around Australia.